Good morning, welcome back to the channel where it's time to do my match week 8 predictions of the 2019-2020 SPFL season. Let's have a quick look how I did last week. So I didn't do very well last week, it has to be said. I went for Hibs 0 Celtic 2, finished 1-1. I went for a really ambitious 3-0 win to Livingston at Hamilton. That finished 2-1 to Hamilton. I went for a 1-1 draw between Kilmarnock and Ross County. That was 0-0. I also went for 3-0 to Rangers. That finished 5-0. And I also went for a 1-0 win to St Johnstone, who are still winless, and that was a 1-0 win to Motherwell. And then all of a sudden I went for a 1-1 draw between St Mirren and Hearts. That finished 0-0. So could only get better. So the games we have this week, there's 2 on Sunday and there's 4 on Saturday. So it's Aberdeen against Hibernian, Hearts against Kilmarnock, Motherwell against St Mirren, Ross County against St Johnstone. These are the Saturday games. And then the Sunday games, 12 o'clock kickoff, Livingston against Celtic. And then 3 o'clock is Rangers against Hamilton. So let's start proceedings off with Aberdeen against Hibs. Now the last 5 between these two have resulted in 3 wins to Aberdeen and 2 draws, and the last game was a 1-0 win to Aberdeen. Aberdeen were absolutely atrocious last week. Didn't really help that they kind of gifted Rangers some of their goals. Not taking anything away from Rangers, who were absolutely fantastic on the day. It's just that I think Aberdeen had 1 shot on goal the whole game, and that was it was from Campbell, who his shot went whistling wide of that post of McGregor. So it's one thing to get beat, but to get beat 5-0 though, that's a bit of a bad turn of events for Aberdeen, and it has to be said that they weren't very very good, and they've not been very convincing all season, I don't think, and it's going to be interesting to see how this affects Aberdeen and how this affects Derek McInnes as well. I think he's safe for now because I don't think Aberdeen are in any way, shape or form ready to sack him. So I think McInnes will definitely still be at Aberdeen after the international break. So yeah, I don't think there's any risk of him getting sacked. So there we go. Hibernian 1-1 against Celtic. Obviously took the lead through, but obviously they didn't score. It was a Christopher Ayer OG. Paul Heckingbottom was sent to the stands for basically kicking a water bottle that actually hit the linesman. And he wasn't very happy as well. So obviously he'll probably be missing from the dugout this weekend. Apart from that, Hibs, they played okay against Celtic, and a draw was probably fair in the end. I know Celtic had their chances, but Hibs deserved something out of the game, and they got a point, so they'll be pretty pleased with that. So there's definitely no risk of Heckingbottom losing his job anytime soon as well, considering the Hibs are in a cup semi-final as well. So yeah, I don't see that. I don't see Heckingbottom or McInnes basically getting the sack anytime soon, and it feels very very strange to say that about both managers. As far as this game goes, because it's at Pittodrie, Hibs haven't beaten Aberdeen in the last 5 meetings. I think this will continue to 6. I'm going for Aberdeen to win this one. They'll bounce back from that horrible 5-0 defeat to Rangers. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to the Dons at Pittodrie. So I think Aberdeen will be back on track in that one. Hearts against Kilmarnock. Now the last 5 between these two have resulted in 2 wins to Hearts and 3 wins to Kilmarnock. And the last game was a 1-0 win to Killie. Hearts, they were pretty bad against St Mirren, it has to be said. It wasn't the best of games. They had the better chances, though, it has to be said. Unfortunately, though, Craig Halkett now is out until January, which is a massive blow because, like I've said in every video when I've done these, he has probably been Hearts' best player this season. So it's another blow to add to an ever-growing injury list for the Jambos, and it's a shame. It is a shame to see. But again, I said it last week. Consistency is key, and unfortunately, Hearts beat Hibs, but then go to St Mirren and then get a 0-0 draw. It's not very very good, is it? So obviously they're coming back in front of their home fans, and they are desperate for a home win, for sure. They've not won in the last 12 at home, so it's going to be a very very interesting game, this one. Kilmarnock obviously coming off the back of a 0-0 draw with Ross County, but had Osman Sow got his shooting boots on, they would have won that game against Ross County, because Osman Sow's penalty was very very tame, very very easily saved by Ross Laidlaw. And Kilmarnock are, they're starting to sort of pick up results under Angelo Alessio, and they're starting to get results. So that's the main thing you can say about Kilmarnock. As far as this game goes, can't really separate them. Both of these sides are not on very good form at this present moment in time. So I think both sides will cancel each other out. Hearts are desperate for a home win, like I've said, and I think it's going to be a very very close game. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between Hearts and Kilmarnock at Tynecastle. So more misery for Hearts in front of their home fans. But then again, Hearts could win, maybe, or Kilmarnock could win. We'll see. But for me, I'm going for a 1-1 draw between Hearts and Kilmarnock. Motherwell against St Mirren. Now, the last 5 between these two, interestingly enough, have resulted in 2 wins to Motherwell, a draw, and 2 wins to St Mirren. So they're quite evenly matched, these two. And the last game was a 1-1 draw at Fir Park. Motherwell, fantastic away win against St Johnstone. Obviously, Mark Gillespie saving a penalty as well. We did see the miss of the season from Devante Cole. I don't know how he missed. He was standing right in front of the goal line and open goal, and he blazes it over the bar. But he does get the goal to Tony Zera. He gets the goal from Declan Gallagher flick on, and he scores the goal for them. Declan Gallagher is one of those players who has been very, very, really, really good for Motherwell this season, and quite frankly, in my opinion, he could probably be in the Scotland squad. That's my feeling about that one. I do think Motherwell have been very, very good this season, and quite sitting comfortably at third in the table, and I think their good form will continue this weekend. St Mirren, obviously 0-0 against Hearts. Obviously, Tony Andreu had a goal disallowed. Be interesting to see that one. I can see why it was disallowed, but it was a very, very, very harsh call, I thought. So, St Mirren, on another day, they could have won that game against Hearts, and, it'll be very, very interesting to see if they can go to Motherwell and get something. But unfortunately, I don't see this to be the case. I know Motherwell lost their last home game 2-1 to Ross County. I just feel that the Motherwell are really, really on form. So I'm going to go for a comfortable win for Motherwell. I'm going for a 2-0 win to the Steelmen. I'm going for a 2-0 win to Motherwell. So that will be that one. Now, an interesting game coming up, this one. Ross County against St Johnstone. Now, the last 5 between these two, interestingly enough, considering St Johnstone haven't won all season, Ross County haven't won. There's been 3 draws and there's been 2 wins to St Johnstone, and the last game was a 1-1 draw between Ross County and St Johnstone. Ross County obviously coming away from a 0-0 draw against Kilmarnock. They will feel that they could have probably won that game had they had their shooting boots on, is another matter. But they did okay. I mean, obviously Ross Laidlaw saving the penalty from Osman Sow, like I've said, was comfortably saved in the end, and they didn't really look threatening, and that's the one worry for Ross County, is that they definitely need to start scoring goals. St Johnstone obviously losing again. They're going to be cast adrift at the bottom if they're really not careful, and unfortunately they go to Ross County, who have been pretty decent at home, so it's going to be another very, very interesting game, this one. As far as this game goes, I think it's going to be a very, very close game between these sides. Ross County obviously looking for a win, obviously a 0-0 draw. St Johnstone just looking for a win, basically, considering that they have not won this season so far. So for me, I'm going to go for a Ross County win. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Ross County, but it will be very, very tight, I feel, in this game. So that's the Saturday games taken care of. Now, the first of the Sunday games is Livingston against Celtic. Now, the last 5 between these two have obviously resulted in 3 wins to Celtic and 2 draws. Livingston have never beaten Celtic, so this will be a big incentive for them to do. But the last game between the sides, interestingly enough, was a 0-0 draw, and actually the last 2 meetings between Celtic and Livingston have ended 0-0. So, you know, Celtic will obviously want to try a win against Livingston. Livingston, oh dearie me, that was probably the worst performance under Gary Holt, I would have to say. Started well, but you know, if you defend like that in your box, you're not going to win games. And in my opinion, Ross Stewart should do better. I mean, you can see why the referee gave a penalty. He completely misses the ball. But you know, a goalkeeper's meant to jump. If you don't get the ball, then you know a penalty's given. So, but obviously Hamilton have won that game. So it's now 4 defeats in a row for Livingston. Obviously losing 3-1 to Rangers, 2-0 to Aberdeen, 1-0 to Rangers in the cup, obviously, and then obviously 2-1 to Hamilton. So it's a bit of a worrying period for Livingston, and considering that the obviously 4 defeats in a row is not very, very good. But you know, I'm sure the results will come soon. But I have to say that as a Livingston fan, the run that we've got coming up is not easy. I mean, Kilmarnock away after the international break, and then back-to-back games against the Edinburgh clubs. Hearts at home on the 26th of October, and then Hibs away on the 30th of October. So there's some big games coming up for Livingston. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, obviously coming in front of their home fans, and yeah, they frustrated Celtic last season. So might have to do that again for this game. Celtic obviously coming off the back of a 1-1 draw with Hibs. Olivier Ntcham was very fortunate not to be sent off. I mean, he barges into Josh Vela, and then you know decides to lift his hands. Now, for me, that should have been a red card because there's 2 red card incidents in that same incident. So you know, it's one of those things for Celtic, and then obviously they won 2-0 against Cluj last night, so they'll be determined to go to the Tony Macaroni and you know win for the first time. How do I see this one going? Well, Livingston have never beaten Celtic, and I feel that run will continue. However, I do think they will be able to frustrate Celtic. I feel they'll give them a very, very good game. I don't think they'll get hammered by Celtic. I think Celtic will have to bide their time, just a bit like last season. Obviously, the finish 0-0, but obviously we had Liam Kelly that day. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to the champions, but I do think it'll be a very, very tight game and should be interesting as well. So we'll see what happens. But for me, I feel that Celtic will just scrape past Livingston by a 0-0. Rangers against Hamilton. This is the last of the games on this weekend before the international break. The last 5 between these two have resulted in 4 wins to Rangers, 1 win to Hamilton, and the last game was a 1-0 win to Rangers. Now, Rangers, fantastic performance against Aberdeen. You know, Morelos was a constant menace. Greg Stewart obviously getting his first goal as well. Ryan Jack in the middle of the park was absolutely fantastic. Stephen Davis was fantastic. Tavernier loves a goal against Aberdeen, doesn't he? So, you know, Rangers were fantastic. And then Jermaine Defoe comes off the bench, and you know he's got the finishing touch at the moment. So he's so you know Rangers fantastic win as well. Although they did lose last night to Young Boys of Bern by 2-1. Very, very late winner of that one as well. So they'll be confident in coming back to Ibrox and see to play Hamilton. Obviously Hamilton winning 2-1 against Livingston last time out, and in all honesty, could have been a lot more, but they'll be pleased with winning against, and they've actually put in a real decent run. I hadn't realised they've not been losing many games, but drawing a couple of games, but obviously beating Livingston 2-1 as well. So they'll be boosted by the return of George Oakley to the starting lineup as he returns from suspension after obviously getting sent off against St Mirren. As far as this game goes, unfortunately, I just think Rangers, having lost last night, they'll be determined to bounce back, and I think they will. I think I think they will blow Hamilton away like they did against Aberdeen, and I'm going to go for another 5-0 win to Rangers. I just think Rangers will be far too strong for Hamilton, and that is what I see happening. I just think Rangers will be too strong for Hamilton, and I think if they get an early goal, the floodgates will open, because I think they scored really early on against Aberdeen, and it took them a good while to get going, but once they did, they started to score. So yeah, I'm going for Rangers 5, Hamilton 0. So that is it. That is my game week 8 predictions. I'll quickly go through them as quickly as possible. So I'm going for Aberdeen 2, Hibernian 0, Hearts 1, Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 2, St Mirren 0, Ross County 1, St Johnstone 0, Livingston 0, Celtic 1, and Rangers 5, Hamilton 0. So that is it. That is it for the match week 8. Obviously, international break coming up, so we will be back. Next round of games is on the 19th of October, so that'll be interesting to see as well. So good luck to your teams. Hope they do well for you, and like, share, subscribe. That'd be fantastic, and leave your predictions in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. Speak to you all later. Cheers.